Welcome. I'm Meredith, and this is the Oasis Spiritual Empowerment Tarot, all about tarot, oracle, and empowering you. And tonight, I thought I'd share my Halloween decks. So first, let's go a little atmosphere. So this, by the way, is from Peggy of Lisa Pappas is Peggy, from her Sparks Creation Etsy shop, just in case you're curious. But I just thought it was so cute. And I have, if you like candles, Chrissy's Creations, really fabulous. I wish that you could smell this because it's incredible. So I thought we'd light a candle. And get into the vibe. Now, some of these are gonna overtly be Halloween decks. Some might be more witchy decks. Others, maybe it's more. Try to get this so it's not gonna catch anything on fire. Some might be just kind of spooky, creepy decks. So there's a bit of a variety. Let's start with. Well, let's start with some overtly Halloween decks. So, first, classic Halloween Tarot in a tin. So, I mean, can't beat that. This is a great deck. You've probably seen this deck before. Very popular, very accessible. You know, it's very reasonably priced. I'm gonna trim this because I hate the white borders on the backs. I don't even necessarily mind them so much on the fronts, but I hate them on the backs. So, I really need to get around to trimming this. Now, this deck is really, for me, just for Halloween time. Many of the decks that I'm going to show you tonight, I use kind of all the time. But I especially like to use them at this time. And for me, Halloween time is, September to basically till Thanksgiving. Sometimes even after. It just kind of depends. But this is just a really fun, cute deck. Very simple, very easy to read. But I just like it. It's super cute. And I like that it's nice and small. So it's... and I think there is a full size, but this is, I guess, the travel size. So you can see it's a good bit shorter than a tarot, a little more narrow. But still, you can clearly see the cards, which is fabulous. And I love the backs, except for that white. So, needs to trim. And in fact, I think this deck is one I'm gonna bring. So I have 2 Halloween parties to do readings for coming up so far, and I'm super excited. And one of them is a kid party, like not a kid, but young kid. And I think that one will be perfect for that for sure. So now the next 2 decks, I actually recently did unboxings of them. Super fabulous. Now we have the Teeny Tiny Tarot, and this is by Holly Oddly. And with that, I also have the Mini Divi by Holly Oddly. So this one's an oracle, just in case you missed my unboxing. But if you're curious, I'll link that video down below because I do both. So these are the backs. Now, this deck isn't specifically Halloween, but it's got a lot of skulls. It's got a lot of eyeballs going on. And it's got fabulous fall colors. You know, it feels like a fall deck. And I think this will be fabulous for, you know, for this Halloween season. It's just wonderful, and I love it. And it feels, you know, for me, the fall is a very earthy time. I think, I feel like maybe for a lot of other people, that might be spring. But for me, it's fall. That's when I really feel like connected to the earth, and I want to really amp up that connection, that feeling. And so this is perfect because it feels very kind of papery and woody, like in the best possible way. And it just really amplifies that feeling for me. And then, now the mini Divi, this one I guess is probably a bit more Halloweeny, at least overtly, because it's all ghosts. And we have these black, white, and gray cards. And I love this deck so much. I love, again, it's got that fabulous like earthy feel to it. This was done so well. It's so clever the way the type of ghost matches with the message, and the messages are absolutely fabulous. So I really, really love this deck, and this is definitely one that I am going to be using a lot. So, and the creator, actually I gotta check her site. I have not checked today, but if you go to hollyoddly.com, I think, pretty sure that's the website. Yeah. She has new decks coming, and I think there are, oops, you go with the other one. I think there are a total of 5 of these little oracle decks. So I'd really love to get the other 4. So I've been kind of stalking her page, and I did sign up for her newsletter too, but they're due out mid-September, and it is, mid-September. So hopefully they'll be out soon. So if you're interested, if you're curious, I would check on her page. Okay. So next, now these are 2 decks that I've been using together, and really enjoying them together. So this one I just got. I actually recently did an unboxing of this one too. And it is the Trick or Treater Tarot. Trick or Treat Tarot. It's got a huge book, which honestly, there's a lot of wasted space. I mean, I hate to put it like that, but to look at this book, you would think there is a lot more information than there is. It's not a negative thing about the book, just to give you, I mean, they do have a good bit of information in the back, but when it comes to the cards, I mean, it's better than like a little white book, but you know, this could have been a smaller book, honestly. But it is great that each page has a full color image. But anyway, I really do enjoy this deck. I think it's a lot of fun. And with it, I have been using the Halloween Oracle. And I just think they're fabulous together. So I'm going to show them together. Now, if you do want to see the unboxing of this one, I can link it. It's one of my more recent videos. So I think it's only like 2 videos away from this one, something like that. But I just think they're fabulous together. And perfect for this time of year. And I really, Really like them. Yeah, and a lot of people do complain about this deck, about all the skulls, because there are a lot of skulls, and they're pretty much, I guess, the same skull. I don't really care, honestly. I don't tend to use this for huge spreads, so I don't often get more than one skull, at a time. So it doesn't bother me. Maybe if I was doing like a 9-card spread with this, it might get to me. I don't really know. But it honestly doesn't. I don't care. I just don't care. But as you can see, there's a lot of skulls. But I still think it's a great deck, and I really like it. And it's got like a title and a keyword. And sometimes the title can be kind of keywordish. Sorry, I was just checking to make sure the candle wasn't heating up my my camera. But I don't know, I like it. And it's one that the Oracle is one that I use, time and again. So, and if you want to see how the backs look together, I think they're great. So I really like this pairing. And I do use the Oracle with other decks. Oh, and I edged it. And I think I trimmed it. Actually, I don't remember, honestly, but I feel like there was probably a big border here, and I trimmed it, but I could be wrong. So if you don't have this, and if you're interested and you look, and it's got huge borders, you can just trim it if you want. So I feel like I'm going too fast. Am I going too fast, or am I going too slowly? I've had a lot of coffee today. Okay. And it's by Stacy DeMarco, the Halloween Oracle, and it does have a guidebook with a good amount of information for each card. They're not in color, but they are pictured nicely. And I do like it, not that I honestly don't use this a lot, but I do like the little quotes for each card. I think it's nice. So I should also tell you belatedly that Barbara Moore and Jonathan Hunt made the Trick or Treat Tarot. Oh, and I don't even know who did this. Let's say created by Kipling West. Oh, Kipling's one of my favorite writers. So I should probably remember that. All right. Next, this one I just did an unboxing with, but for completeness, and in case you didn't see it, I'm gonna include it. This is StoryWorld cards, and this one, because there's a bunch of different ones, is Tales from the Haunted House by John and Caitlin Matthews, and the art is by Amanda Hall, Jim Kay, Nikki Palin, and Tomislav Tomic. So these are very different. I'm definitely going to be rebacking them, because the backs, these are meant to help with story writing, basically storytelling. But if you think about it, that's what a reading is anyway, right? You're constructing a story, whether it's a story about the past or the future or the present, but there's a story that goes on. And so I actually like these questions, but I think I'm going to back it and leave like a little window, or maybe even a flap so that I could look at it. I don't know, but I'm going to do something. But I think these are a lot of fun, and there's a lot of detail. There are a lot of things that can be pulled, and I think, actually, let's take a look. But I have a feeling these are gonna look really nice with the Halloween Oracle. Right? Yeah, I like those. And if they go well with the Halloween Oracle, then I expect they'll go well. I mean, not necessarily, but with the Trick or Treat Tarot. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So, yeah, so I like that. So I may end up combining all of these. But really interesting deck. I genuinely haven't even used it yet because I just did the unboxing today. So I haven't had a chance to really even work with them at all. But I will. Okay. So now the next deck is playing cards. These are the Halloween playing cards. This was from a Kickstarter. And I think, oh, here. So it's by, oh man, I can't even, it's too late. My eyes are not focusing. But this is who did it. So hopefully you can see that. R. Bergen Designs, maybe? So I apologize if that's not right. Love these backs. I mean, they're so pretty. I kind of want to trim them, but I don't think I will. And the neat thing about this deck is, so for hearts, we have spiders, but you still have the heart, so there's no confusion. And notice how the spiders are in that heart shape, which I think is fabulous. And then when we have clubs, we have these little ghouly ghosty guys in the club shape. And these remind me of, was it Phantasm? With those like little creatures from the other dimension, and they had like a little outfit like that. I think it was Phantasm. I could be wrong. But it was one of those older horror movies. And then for spades, notice we have the spades in the eyes of the skulls. And spades are skulls. And, yeah, I love this too. I mean, it's really smart the way it was done. Love the Joker cards. And this, oh, and here we have diamonds or pumpkins. And you can see the diamond shape in the eyes. It's just a really fun deck. I love the aces are gorgeous. And, you know, when it comes to the quartz, we have that fabulous reversal going on. So for me, I tend to add these to a reading. So I'll use like tarot, I'll use oracle, and then I might pull, I mean, it kind of depends. I'll pull at least one, sometimes significantly more than one, but I think they're fabulous. I really, really like them. They're just fun, and yeah. Okay, so the next deck oh, this one's fabulous. Now, this is one that I'll use throughout the year, but it's especially great at this time of year. So this is the Enchanted Bruja Oracle. Mine is the second edition. It's got 30 cards, and and it is by Alexandra Bunch. Beautiful backs. I love the color. I just love the way they're done. And now the fronts, we have all these, black and white and gray. Normally, I like more color, but I think it's absolutely perfect for this deck. Beautiful, beautiful art. And we have basically a title telling you what's in the card, but then we have a keyword as well. And I just think they're stunning, and these cards go with pretty much everything, I think. And again, this is a deck that I'll use at any time, but it definitely, we do have that trick or treat. It really kind of shines, I guess, at this time of year, or, maybe at some other time of the year if you're doing a, kind of like a spooky theme or a witchy theme. I think these are great. Yeah, and I really, really enjoy these. They're so, so pretty. And just lovely. I love that. Bruja's boots. And the keyword is confidence. That's just fabulous. So, this is a great deck. And it does have a little fold-out guide. So it gives you maybe 2 sentences for each card. Which is plenty, because I really don't use it. I don't feel the need. Which is fabulous. That means that the cards are doing what I think they should do, right? So I don't need to look elsewhere. I'm sure I've glanced at it, but I don't tend to use it. Okay. Alright, this next deck isn't exactly Halloween, but it's got monsters. And it's absolutely one of my favorite decks. So this is Lights in Dark Places, Making Friends with Your Monsters. And this is by Jeremy Parker. So this is over 31 cards. So I don't know if that means there's 32. But excuse me. I do wish oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I do wish there were more. Not because it's lacking, but because I really love these. So, we have these fabulous, interesting monsters and these beautiful messages. And I think they're very powerful and wonderful. And this is a deck I use a lot with clients. Use a lot for myself. It's a great way to just kind of start your day. If you just want to do a 1-card pull. It's great to add to other readings. And, and the monsters they're cute, but they're also kind of creepy. So I just think they're wonderful for Halloween. And again, all the time. This deck, from the moment I've gotten it, has sat on my desk. Except when I bring it somewhere. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. I love this so, so much. Yeah, so it just stays with me. Because it's absolutely fabulous, and it's fabulous at this time of year. So, alright, for the next deck, alright, this is one that, it honestly didn't really appeal to me, but it got a lot of hype. And it made me curious. And I do really, really like the artist. So this is Tarot of Vampires by Ian Daniels. Now, I got this deck some time ago, back over the summer. I haven't really used it yet. I probably, I'm sure I used it like once or twice just to kind of get an idea. But then I put it aside for now. I'm pretty sure you've probably seen this because, again, it did get a lot of hype and the artwork is beautiful. I don't know. It is beautiful. I don't know how we're gonna get along. But I'm looking forward to finding out. So, I thought that this time of year would really be the best time to really get to know this deck. So, that's what I'm going to be doing. So we'll see how it goes. It's really interesting. But I don't know. This is one I just don't know about yet. Now, it does come with a very chunky book. And I'm actually going to read the book. I am going to spend some time with the deck just on its own first, because that's what I do. But before I really kind of decide on this one way or the other, I am going to read the book. And then, so I'm going to spend time with this, then I'm going to read the book, and then I'm going to spend some more time with this. That's kind of how it's going to go. And then we'll see. And I think after all that, if it doesn't really click with me, then this might be a deck that needs to move on. But I mean, hopefully it will. Hopefully it will click. So I haven't gotten rid of this huge box yet, just in case it needs to move on. But if I decide to keep it, the box has definitely got to go. It's too big. But now, speaking of vampires, I also have Tarot V. Now this deck, I don't remember when I got it. I think that, I don't know, but I do know that I didn't use it last year at Halloween. So either I had it or I just forgot about it. The backs are really neat. It is a low Scarabeo deck, but it is by Charles Harrington and Alejandro, I love that name, Colucci. So this deck, again, it's beautiful. I just haven't felt called to really use it. But I think that just like with the other one, it really needs to be tried out at this time of year, for me to see. I mean, it's really pretty, and I do think that it could be very evocative. So I may end up really liking this deck. I just don't know yet. So yeah, I've only used this deck maybe once or twice. I don't even remember. But this is one that I will be using this season. And then, if it doesn't seem to really vibe with me, then I'll have to move on. Okay. So, another deck, kind of in that same boat of, not really sure how I feel about it, is the Goetia Tarot in Darkness, and this is by Fabio Lestrani. The problem I have with this deck, it's so dark. I don't mean dark as in feeling, I mean dark in color. Now it is a black and white deck. That's not my problem. My problem is it's really hard to distinguish anything. And from what I can see of the artwork, it's beautiful. And I really wish they would like lighten it up, increase the contrast, something, and re-release it, because I think it's wonderful. Now, this may be on purpose. Maybe it was meant to be like this and kind of hard to see, and maybe the idea is to only give you glimpses and let your mind kind of fill in the blanks. I don't know. But I do know that, I mean, even reading this is a bit of a strain for me. And you can probably tell from me holding it upside down. It's just a little tough. It's beautiful, though. So, this is a deck that I really want to use. And I definitely think it's got like that creepy kind of vibe. But I don't know. It's hard to see. It's really hard to see. I'm going to have to play with it more and maybe just allow myself to not see stuff. You know, maybe it would be okay to not see. You know, and to only get that glimpse and not get all the details. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the trick. I don't know. So, I'm going to be playing with it this season. And then kind of make a determination as to whether this is a deck that I can really use or whether it needs to move on. But it's beautiful. And he's got another deck. I think it just came out. That's lighter, but as much as I really do enjoy his artwork, I am concerned that I'm going to have the same issue. So I haven't made a move on it yet, but I may. And since we're talking about decks that may end up moving on, as much as I hate to say it, Tarot del Toro. Now again, it's not strictly speaking a Halloween deck, but it does have, you know, creepy stuff. Love the backs. I edged it. We have these we have pips for the minors, which I'm okay with. It's not terrible. I think that for me, the bigger issue is really with the majors. I mean, some of them I like, but some of them I just don't. I don't know. They just, you know, it's not even whether I like them or I don't like them. I think that's the wrong. I really like this though. I think it's more that they don't evoke the feeling that I would expect for those cards. For me, it's all about feeling. And so, I really don't reach for this deck at all. And that's a shame. I mean, it is It is lovely, and it feels wonderful. Now, when I first got it, I did use it a good bit. But there's just other decks that I'd rather use. That's kind of what it boils down to. I love this guy, though. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's time to decide if this is going to be a deck that I really use or if it needs to move on. So I'm going to be using it this season, and then I'll go from there. If I'm not really loving my time with it, if I feel like I don't really need it, it's going to move on. So that's kind of where we are. But it's beautiful. It really is. And the cardstock is so nice. The box is lovely. Like, I want to use this deck. You know what I mean? So, okay. Now for a deck that I absolutely adore, and that is very specifically Halloweeny. This is the Happy Halloween Tarot, and it's by Sony Graves, and I love this deck. So it is so pretty. I just love the colors, and look at, I love the way these are colored. I really do. And the artwork is beautiful. I mean, it really is. Yeah, this is definitely one of my very favorite Halloween decks. I love the cardstock. It feels like a really nice plasticky feel, which maybe seems weird that I like it, but I don't, some plastic is just nice. Like, I don't know. It feels nice. The cards really glide beautifully. And it's a wonderful deck to shuffle. Just to flip through. It just feels so nice. Super easy to read. I love the devil. And it's so cute and whimsical and beautiful. And I just really love it. Look at this, though. It's a fabulous deck. So, now it is, this is for sure a Halloween tarot. I do use this outside of this season, because I like it so much. But, definitely, I'd say that it's best for this season, or again, for some kind of themed thing. If you want to do something like that, I think it would be fabulous. So, it's a great deck. And I know, so I got this from Kickstarter, but I believe she has put more of this deck for sale. I don't know the current status, but I know people were waiting for a while to try to get it, if they didn't back it. And I do remember it going up for sale. I don't know if it still is. That's the only thing. And next, we have the Boo Tarot. And this is by Celia Malisville. Now this deck, so pretty. So, and again, this was a very popular deck. I did do an unboxing of this too, if you haven't seen it. Look at those backs. Oh, so pretty. And I love the glittery ghosts. Is that picking up? I love her art anyway. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And this is just a fabulous deck. He's so stinking cute. I love the little tie. It's just, this is another one I'm definitely gonna bring to the kid reading. I think it'll be fabulous. It's just adorable. And I really love it. And this is great any time of the year. I definitely wouldn't wait for Halloween for it, but it's really great for Halloween because, I mean, it's all ghosts. And, you know, we do have other calls to Halloween, of course, as well. Love this. Look at that. This is a great deck. I mean, really trying to see where. I know there are there's some really Halloween-y looking cards. Well, here, it's a little bit, but I don't know what I'm. There definitely are. I'm just not finding them. Love that. Love that. But it's a great deck. And I think it's perfect for this time of year. So now, I'll go a little bit darker. So I have Murder of Crows Tarot by Corrado Roy. So now this is the like the limited edition version. So basically what that means is instead of just black and white, I have some red in this deck. It's definitely got some creepy vibes, but in the best possible way, you know. Very autumnal feeling to me. And I think it's a really interesting deck. And the funny thing is, and I use this kind of whenever. For me, it's definitely not just Halloween, but I do feel like Halloween is the perfect time for it. I also go through spurts with this deck. Sometimes I really love it and I'm going to use it a lot. Sometimes I'm like, I don't need to use that deck. Right now I'm loving it. So, yeah, it just kind of depends. It's not like there's anything wrong. You know, I just have so many decks. I think what it is that other decks will capture my attention. Nothing against this one. It's just, you know, just want to reach for something else more. But yeah, it's a really neat deck. And I quite like it. And it's nice and chunky, the cardstock, which I like. And this one, not really creepy, not really Halloween-y, but it's the Poe Tarot. And this is by Trisha Lee Shufeldt. And this just, I mean, well, first of all, any time is the right time for Poe, as far as I'm concerned. But look at these backs. They're so pretty. And you see the gilding's taking a beating because I do ruffle shuffle. But it's still beautiful. And this is one that, even though it's black and white, you have all this wonderful white space that, for me, for my eyes, really helps me take in everything, you know. So it makes it really easy to read. Sometimes with black and white decks, if there's too much going on, it's hard for me to pick out details, and I don't have that problem with this deck at all. And then we have quotes from Poe. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep, while I weep, while I weep. And it goes on. So I get carried away. I love Poe. Love Poe. There are a couple cards that I probably would have made different choices, but you know, you say it with anything, right? It's not that I think they were bad choices. It's just that there are things that I would have preferred to see, but I really love this deck. I think it's fabulous. I think a lot of thought went into it, and look at this. And it's just so well done, and it's wonderful. And if you like Poe, this is a great deck. Yeah, so this is one that will be used quite a bit this season. And again, I mean, this is an anytime, every time deck, but I just feel like this is a great time to use it too. Alright, so let's move into kind of spookier things again. So this one is Tarocchi di Connessione. Divi. I am so sorry. I don't know. But it's a great deck. It's a great deck, and I'm so sorry. As I said in a previous video, my Italian is like non-existent. But these are the backs. This is just a fabulous deck. It's a little kind of dark and creepy, which I love. And again, this is a deck I'll use all the time, all year. But it just feels very Halloween-y. It's got kind of a very ethereal, kind of spooky, creepy kind of vibe, which I quite like. This one is very powerfully elemental, and I mean, you can see. But even without those, I mean, you would have no trouble pulling out the elements, right? But for me, that also feels like this time of year. Is that weird? Does anybody else feel that way? I just feel like autumn is a time for nature and the elements. It's hard to describe, but I just feel more in touch with both of those things at this time of year. So anything that speaks strongly of the elements, of nature, I tend to gravitate toward now more than any other time. But yeah, it's a great deck. So then the next deck was also by the same creator, or one of them. So this one I think was a collaboration between two artists. And then this one was just by the one Diramazioni, something like that. Diramazioni. And it's the Diramazioni Tarot. And again, I'm so sorry for butchering that name. So these are the backs. Now it does have the name of the deck, but it's worked into the art. I mean, theoretically, I guess these aren't reversible. I don't That's not how I pull cards. So like that doesn't ever bother me. I don't really care if backs are reversible or not because I'm not picking and choosing like, oh, that's reversed. I'm not going to pick it. Like that's not how I do it. So it doesn't bother me, but it might bother you. And I did edge these, and I rounded the corners because when I got they're very very sharp corners. So I just rounded them. And again, this one I would say is maybe a little creepier than the other one, but in a wonderful way. You know, it's not a bad thing. I mean, look at that. I love that. It's a really interesting deck, and I really enjoy it. And again, it does feel very elemental, you know. The elements speak strongly in these cards. Maybe that's a better way to put it. But yeah, there's like a haunting beauty with this deck. And I really enjoy it. So... yeah, I have quite a few decks left. So, I think I'm going to end it here because, you know, it's taken a very long time and I don't want to bore you. So, stay tuned for part 2, which will be significantly shorter because there's not that many decks left. And I do have one more giveaway. Let's do that really fast. Because when I was going through pulling out all my Halloween decks, I noticed that there was one other deck from the giveaways that never got claimed. And it's been long enough. So we're gonna redraw for the Anna K. I do have the guidebook, which is pretty darn pristine. I don't have the box. I tossed that out. But I have a bag. And this is... I love... let me tell you. If I was going to keep this deck, it would be because of this card. Because this is fabulous. But it just doesn't... it doesn't call to me. There's a lot that I love about it, though. I gotta say. But ultimately... it's better off with someone who will love everything about it. You know? And really... use it. So let's pull for this one really quickly, and then that should really be it for this set of giveaways. But if you're interested, I will be having more, and I think they'll get a little bigger as time goes by too. So I'm excited. So, for the Anna K, we have Mimi's Tarot and Gems as the winner. So, Mimi, I'm going to reply to your comment. I'll give you my email address. It's also in my my bio, like in the description. So, yeah, just send me your address. If you're outside the US, I need your phone number too, and I will get this sent to you. And you have about 2 weeks to respond. If you don't respond, I will be pulling for this deck yet again. So please respond, because I want to get this to you. So until next time, just be wonderful to yourself. Be really, really wonderful, because you deserve the best, only the best, all the best, and that is my wish for you.